Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage President and CEO for AAA, Robert Darbelnay.
Good morning, and welcome to this second plenary session at which private sector leaders from across the globe will discuss their strategies for implementing ITS. One of the goals of this session is to build upon what we learned from Monday's first plenary session, which focused on what policymakers think we can and should do to accelerate the deployment of ITS. While this morning's conversation will reflect primarily the private sector's perspective, we do have a very special guest, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Ray LaHood, who will share his additional insight from the public sector. If you have followed Secretary LaHood's activities, you know he is a strong advocate for ITS with a passion for making our roads safer. Ray LaHood became the 16th U.S. Secretary of Transportation in January 2009. Prior to that, he served for 14 years in the U.S. Congress as a Republican member of the House of Representatives. He is currently the only Republican serving in President Obama's cabinet. As the Secretary recently noted on his blog, and I quote, "Even as highway budgets are forced to do more with less, the number of vehicles on our roads continue to climb. We need to work smarter with what we already have," unquote. Under his direction, the Department of Transportation is doing just that, making transportation systems safer, faster, smarter, and more efficient. Secretary LaHood recently announced that he would be leaving his post at the end of President Obama's first term in 2012. We're fortunate to have the Secretary here this morning to share his insights on this nation's accomplishments and remaining challenges as they relate to ITS. Please join me in welcoming Secretary Ray LaHood.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Thank you very much. I am delighted to take part in the important conversation about the future of American transportation and the men and women that are shaping it. I really came here for two reasons. First, to say thank you. The work you do for America's traveling public could not be more important. Almost from the very first day that I have come upon this job, I have emphasized safety. We talk about safety every day in every mode of transportation. We know that people get up every day and use many different forms of transportation, and the one thing that they know for certain is that whether they're on a bus or a light rail or a streetcar or a train or a plane or in their automobile or on a motor coach, that it will be safe. That's what we think about at the Department of Transportation. The work that you do, the work that you're talking about here at this important meeting emphasizes safety. It will always be our #1 priority. And so on behalf of President Obama and my 58,000 colleagues at the Department of Transportation, thank you for making safety a priority. Thank you for thinking about it every day. Thank you for the work that you do to make all forms of transportation safe. Your creativity and imagination, your tireless pursuit of the next big idea, your exemplary dedication to safety is transforming transportation in America. Whether we're talking about connecting vehicle technology, new safety warning systems, or continued progress toward the car that doesn't crash. You are discovering new technologies every day. You're developing them. You're making them happen. You are pushing the frontiers of innovation. And our transportation system is safer, smarter, and greener as a result of your great work. I'm also here to talk about another issue that's very important. The roads and bridges on which America's connected vehicles, electric vehicles, and other high-tech vehicles will drive are in terrible shape in America. More than 1 in 4 of America's bridges are substandard, including an astonishing 12% that are structurally deficient. That's 6,858 bridges that, while safe to drive on in America, are nearing the end of their intended lifespan. Standing still is no way to maintain what used to be the world's best transportation system. I need you to join us in calling on Congress to put Americans back to work repairing our roads, bridges, and transit systems, and building the safest, fastest, most efficient way of moving people and products for the 21st century. You know the facts. We face a crisis in this country. Our citizens are struggling amongst the worst economic conditions in America. Our transportation systems are overburdened and fast becoming obsolete. And each successive day that Congress finds a reason not to act is another day that we're wasting the opportunity of our lifetimes. Right now, we're missing the opportunity to ease congestion on traffic-clogged roads. We're missing the opportunity to repair America's overburdened transit system and obsolete bridges. We're missing the opportunity to put in place a next-generation air traffic control system. And most of all, we're missing the opportunity to put our family, friends, and neighbors back to work. Each day is another day that an unemployed mom or dad decides between the groceries and the rent in America. It's another day that for someone, the American dream of buying a home or putting their children through college slips further from reach. Our challenges were a long time in making. We're not going to solve them overnight. But there are things we can do right now to connect workers with their jobs and the work that our country needs done. That's why President Obama has sent to Congress the American Jobs Act. That's why investments in transportation are such a major part of it. And here is what President Obama has put forward. The American Jobs Act includes $50 billion immediate investment in construction jobs, rebuilding America's roadways, railways, transit systems, runways at airports. It will hire American workers to upgrade 150,000 miles of roads, to lay or maintain 4,000 miles of track, and to restore 150 miles of runways, and to put in place a next-generation air traffic control system that will reduce travel time and delays. Nothing partisan about that. The American Jobs Act includes the National Infrastructure Bank with $10 billion up front that will leverage millions of dollars for projects. The bank will operate independently. It will issue loans emphasizing 2 criteria: how badly a project is needed and how much good it would do for the economy. No boondoggles, no earmarks, no bridges to nowhere, and no unnecessary red tape.